and welcome to another episode of Music with Miss Sullivan. After this video lesson, you'll be able to define enrhythmic patterns, identify and read enrhythmic patterns in duple meter, and connect enrhythmic patterns to your own musicianship. Today I'll be singing a song called My Pony John, which is composed by Beth Bolton. She very generously gave me permission to record the song in this lesson, so thank you to Dr. Bolton. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Bum bum bum, listen. I have a pony, his name is John. He has a saddle that I ride on. We ride the prairie till day is done. Then we ride back to Bristol to my father's farm. I have a pony, his name is John. He has a saddle that I ride on. We ride the prairie till day is done. Then we ride back to Bristol to my father's farm. And I don't know about you, but what Bristol is the song singing about? I have no idea. Now, if you are a really astute audiator, you might have noticed that that song was in duple meter. You were audiating dos, due days, and maybe even some divisions. That song is also in a tonality called Dorian, which is a little bit different from major and minor. It's kind of a blend between the two. It's a very beautiful tonality, in my opinion. However, today we're talking about enrhythmic patterns, and for that, we need some rhythm patterns. Be my echo. Do, do, day, do, day, do. Do, day, do. Do, ta, to do to, day, do. Do, to, day, to, do, day, do, day. Now, thinking of those rhythm patterns, let's think about my first one. It was do, day, do, day, do. A lot of times we write this pattern like this, using quarter notes and eighth notes. We're very used to reading do's and due days, just like what you see on the screen here. However, what if I were to tell you that you could also write it like this, or like this? Depending on your context, all of these patterns could be do, day, do, do. Go ahead and pick one to look at while you chant the pattern. Ready, go. That is the heart of what an enrhythmic pattern is. These are rhythm patterns that are chanted the same, but can be written or read in different ways. Take a little bit to practice saying enrhythmic patterns. It's kind of a silly word, a weird word. However, it's a really cool concept in music that's going to branch your musicianship to a whole nother level. Let's take a look at another enrhythmic pattern. I have this pattern. Do, day, do. Now, some of you might look at that pattern and not really understand how to read it or chant it. However, what if I wrote it like this? Do, day, do. It's the same exact pattern, but now maybe it's a little easier on the eyes. Or maybe I was running out of space in a composition and I wrote it like this. Do, day, do. Again, depending on your context, all of these patterns could be chanted the same way. And finally, what about this one? Do ta to do to day do. A lot of musicians say that when they see more black on the paper, they start to panic. So you can also write it like this. Do ta to do to day do. Or even like this. Do ta to do to day do. All of these patterns could be chanted the same way, but they certainly look very different. Now, why are enrhythmic patterns important? First, as a composer, it can save you ink or paper. Maybe you're choosing to write your rhythms in your composition like this, and you realize that's going to take up a lot of space. You can make the choice to write in a more compact way, like this. It's Kind of like the difference between choosing to write in small letters or all capital block print across a page. Additionally, rhythmic patterns can make your music easier to audiate or read. If I had music that had a lot of 16th notes, that might make it harder to read than if it were to use quarter notes and eighth notes. And finally, rhythmic patterns and understanding the core of that will make you a better musician. And rhythmic patterns is all about understanding what the macro beats and micro beats are. We practice finding that a lot in our audiation. We don't necessarily need to read what the macro beats and micro beats are. However, once you understand that, then you can play around with things like changing the meter of songs, composing rhythms in an interesting way, and realizing the connections and relationships between rhythms. Here's a handy little cheat sheet for you as you complete the next task. On the left here is the biggest note value a do could be. Well, technically it could be bigger, but for our purposes, it could be a whole note, or your do could be a half note, or a quarter, or eighth notes. Remember, they could be single or paired. A do could also be 16th notes, but that would honestly make your music probably hard to audiate and read. In triple meter, a do could look like this. This is called a dotted whole note. Or this, a dotted half note. Dotted quarter. Your macro beats could even be your eighth notes, your do, dotty, your group of three, or it could be 16th notes. But typically you're going to see your macro beats look something in this area. Now, I mentioned earlier that understanding and rhythmic patterns can help you play with meter. To demonstrate this, I will play with meter with this song. For reference, I'll sing My Pony John in duple meter. While you listen, try to find the macro beats and micro beats in your body somehow. If you need help with the macro beats, I'll be playing them on my instrument while I sing the song. Bum, 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 here I go. I have a pony, his name is John. He has a saddle that I ride on. We ride the prairie till day is done. Then we ride back to Bristol to my father's farm. Again, that was duple meter. Here's what the song would sound like in triple meter. Again, try to find the macro beats and micro beats in your body and listen to my instrument if you need help. Bum, 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 here I go. I have a pony, his name is John. He has a saddle that I ride on. We ride the prairie till day is done. Then we ride back to Bristol to my father's farm. Finally, I could also put this song into a meter called unusual paired. You'll notice that my macro beats feel uneven in this version, but still try to find the macro beats and micro beats in your body. Listen to my instrument if you need help. Bum, 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 here I go. I have a pony, his name is John. He has a saddle that I ride on. We ride the prairie till day is done. Then we ride back to Bristol to my father's farm. This is such a fun thing to do with different music that you know. In conclusion, rhythmic patterns are rhythm patterns that are chanted the same but can be written in different ways. Understanding rhythmic patterns helps you be a better composer, a better audiator, and helps you have fun with meter in music.